What is going on, folks? Andrew Meet Rich here, and let me tell you, we have some absolutely crucial dispatches that demand your immediate attention today. If you're new here, I'm Andrew Meet Rich. I used to work inside a state-run media outlet, saw how stories were twisted to fit the narrative, and I walked away. Now I'm independent, I speak freely, and I tell you what really matters. First up, let's talk about what's happening on the American front, because some of these developments are truly eyebrow-raising. Donald Trump's recent visit to London, believe it or not, generated headlines not for any groundbreaking policy shifts, but for what didn't happen. According to media reports, the primary win for British Prime Minister Keir Starmer was simply avoiding public humiliation at the hands of the former American president. It's a low bar, isn't it, when avoiding a public dressing down is considered a success story for a national leader? That alone should give us pause. It's a clear indication of the kind of political theater we're constantly subjected to, where image often trumps substance. But the real kicker from Trump's trip, his bold declaration that the United States must reclaim control of Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan. Yes, you heard that right. The very base that was effectively abandoned during the hasty withdrawal of 2021, or as some might more accurately describe it, the chaotic exodus. Trump, speaking at a press conference alongside Starmer, emphasized, and I quote, "We want this base back. This isn't just about a strategic outpost, it's about a potential reshaping of regional dynamics." Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you find this breakdown helpful, and if you're feeling generous, consider becoming a channel sponsor. It truly helps us keep bringing you the unfiltered truth. Now, the former president didn't mince words about why he wants Bagram back. He made it abundantly clear that this isn't about Afghanistan itself. Oh no, it's about a much larger geopolitical chess game, the containment of China. Trump explicitly stated that Bagram is only about an hour's flight from where China is developing its nuclear capabilities. This isn't just a simple military base. It's being framed as a critical strategic asset in the ongoing global power struggle. Of course, experts quickly pointed out that any return of American troops would require negotiations with the Taliban. Yes, the very group we supposedly left behind. The irony, ladies and gentlemen, is not lost on me. It raises a serious question. At what cost do we play these high-stakes games, and who ultimately pays the price? Shifting gears a bit, but staying stateside for another fascinating, if somewhat quirky piece of news, Boston recently hosted the 35th annual Ig Nobel Prize ceremony. For those unfamiliar, this is an award for scientific research that first makes you laugh and then makes you think profoundly. And oh, did this year deliver. One of the standout studies involved painting cows in black and white stripes, much like zebras. The ingenious result? Fewer fly bites on these striped bovines, leading to calmer cows, and believe it or not, increased milk production. Now, the Japanese researcher behind this admitted that painting cows on an industrial scale might be slightly problematic. No kidding. Other laureates delved into equally pressing matters, such as a lizard's pizza preferences or the speed at which human fingernails grow. You see, it's not just the bizarre discoveries that get me, it's the sheer existence of these studies, and more importantly, the individuals and organizations who fund them. It truly makes you ponder the allocation of resources in the scientific community, doesn't it? If you're enjoying this deep dive, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Your engagement is what keeps this independent platform thriving. Now, let's turn our gaze across the Atlantic, because Europe is grappling with some rather disturbing revelations. The latest reports have identified the cities across the European Union with the highest frequency of violent acts involving firearms. It's no secret that organized criminality has surged in certain European nations in recent years, from shootouts in Brussels to tragic outcomes in Sweden. And the list of cities battling this rise in armed organized crime is, frankly, shocking. Topping that list, surprisingly enough, is Brussels. Yes, the administrative heart of Europe, where every key decision is supposedly made, is now being labeled the capital of criminality in Europe, a place where everyone is considered to be at risk. Who would have thought? It truly lays bare the deep-seated issues that are bubbling beneath the surface of what many perceive as serene European cities. Following Brussels, we find Stockholm. This once peaceful capital has tragically transformed into another hotspot for violent actions. Then there's Marseille in France, which has long been identified as a stronghold for illicit activities. Amsterdam, on the other hand, is witnessing more explosions than actual shootouts. And here's a twist. Paris, the city of lights, has paradoxically become safer than both Marseille and Brussels. It speaks volumes about the deteriorating situations in those other urban centers. While Paris has improved relative to those, it, along with Copenhagen, Athens, Lisbon, Rome, and Madrid, are still considered risk zones due to numerous gang-related violent actions, though with limited risk to the general population. On a more reassuring note, the safest cities in this analysis are, perhaps predictably, Vilnius, Budapest, Warsaw, Bratislava, Luxembourg, and Tallinn. A stark contrast, wouldn't you say? These stark realities paint a concerning picture of security across the continent. But the news doesn't stop there. Ursula von der Leyen, the head of the European Commission, just announced the 19th package of coordinated attacks against Russia. This new package proposes a ban on the import of Russian liquefied gas into the European Union, with a target date of January 1st, 2027. Now, these coordinated attacks aren't set in stone yet. They still need unanimous approval from all member states. Von der Leyen declared, "It's time to turn off the tap. We are ready for this." But as we've all come to understand, ready apparently means waiting until 2027. Meanwhile, the United States is reportedly urging Europe quite loudly to accelerate this process. The sticking points? Nations like France, Greece, Hungary, the Netherlands, Portugal, Slovakia, and Spain have been mentioned as potential dissenters, though, interestingly, left-leaning media outlets tend to highlight only Hungary and Slovakia as the main obstacles. The critical detail here is that any new package requires unanimous consent. To circumvent the anticipated veto from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, the European Commission is reportedly planning to unfreeze approximately €550 million in community funds for Hungary. It's a classic move, a bit of financial persuasion to ensure political compliance. This is how the European Union often operates behind the scenes, ensuring its policies move forward, even if it means some backroom deals. Let's pivot to Germany, where the Bundestag has just adopted the federal budget for 2025. This budget, totaling €502.5 billion, includes promises from the ruling parties for significant investments in infrastructure and social programs. Predictably, the right-wing Alternative for Germany party slammed the budget. What's more intriguing, however, is that even the left-wing party and the Greens have accused the ruling coalition of Friedrich Merz and the Social Democratic Party of misusing billions to essentially bribe voters. This is a common refrain in politics, isn't it? Every budget becomes a battleground, with accusations of impropriety flying from all directions. Expect discussions for the 2026 budget to begin as early as next week. It seems the Germans are already planning far ahead, or perhaps simply preparing for more political infighting. Now, here's a truly unbelievable story concerning Deutsche Bahn, one of Europe's largest railway operators. They've been caught manipulating their schedules. Get this. The company was reportedly cancelling trips ahead of time to artificially inflate their punctuality statistics. You heard me right. Staff within Deutsche Bahn have confirmed this practice, admitting that it's become a common occurrence to cancel trains because cancelled trips simply don't factor into punctuality reports. Why is this so crucial for them? Because Deutsche Bahn is drowning in debt to the tune of €22 billion. And just in the first half of this year alone, they incurred losses of €760 million. This is not just a difficult situation, it's a full-blown crisis. Plain and simple. And speaking of Germany, let's talk about Oktoberfest in Munich. It's set to kick off tomorrow, but price records are already being shattered today. Remember when German media reported a steak going for €229? Well, brace yourselves. Now, you can find a 1.2 kilogram tomahawk marbled beef steak for a staggering €410. And the kicker? As they always say at Oktoberfest, there will always be guests willing to pay whatever it takes. That's one way to put it, isn't it? It just shows you the insane premium some people are willing to pay for an experience, regardless of the cost. Over in France, a new and rather divisive controversy has erupted concerning Palestinian flags being displayed in front of city halls. Amidst all the other serious issues plaguing French politics, this debate is causing another deep rift. The question is whether to celebrate the upcoming recognition of a Palestinian state by raising Palestinian flags across the country or not. Olivier Faure, the leader of the Socialist Party, has urged mayors to hoist the Palestinian flag on September 22nd. This is the day when French President Emmanuel Macron is expected to officially recognize the Palestinian state at the United Nations General Assembly. However, The French Interior Ministry, led by Conservative Bruno Retailleau, has taken a firm stance. They've instructed local authorities to immediately demand that any mayor who raises the flag take it down. And if a mayor refuses, the ministry is prepared to file urgent lawsuits in local courts to force the removal of the flags. Retailleau expressed outrage, saying that the country already has enough internal divisions without importing the Middle Eastern conflict. He's right, France has more than enough challenges of its own without adding this thorny issue to the mix. It highlights the deeply emotional and political fault lines running through European societies when it comes to global conflicts. Now for news from Poland. Polish security agencies have ordered urgent inspections of nearly 4,000 buildings to assess their suitability as shelters in case of various threats. This isn't just a precautionary measure, it's a serious undertaking. Furthermore, the Polish government has allocated 5 billion zloty, which is over 1 billion euros, for modernizing existing shelters, constructing new protective facilities, and developing warning systems. That's a colossal sum, demonstrating a palpable sense of urgency and preparedness in the country. What's even more telling are the latest survey results. 30% of Poles indicate they are prepared to leave their country in the event of a potential invasion. Experts, surprisingly, had anticipated a worse outcome, expecting around 50% to immediately evacuate. So, while 30% is still a significant number, it also suggests a stronger resolve among a larger portion of the population than initially projected. It's a sobering thought, isn't it, that such discussions about preparedness and potential exodus are becoming mainstream in Europe? These are the critical developments shaping our world today. What do you think about all of this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And before you go, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and if you can, consider supporting us by becoming a channel sponsor. It makes a real difference in bringing you these vital insights. Until tomorrow, stay alert, stay informed, and I wish you all peace. There's always more to uncover, believe me.